And we are live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to, well, actually, you don't know. So let's do it. Yeah. Welcome back to your favorite podcast. You know the name. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Riffin with Riffin. Riffin with Riffin. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Welcome back once again, everybody. We're going to be, we live right now, so I think I got the technical difficulties figured out, but welcome to Riffin with Riffin. So we're going to be talking about Tiger King, and I got like a special Skype call pop in. All right, we did that. Got a new singing mic I had to get because that was all messed up. Wait, let me get in here. Let me see what this chat is talking about. So, hello, chat. You guys are behind, but it is what it is. And I put a Instagram thing up, just thoughts on the Tiger King. It is now Friday. It's 3 o'clock Pacific time. And I'm live because what else do I have to do? So I appreciate you guys in the chat, saying whatever you're going to say, doing whatever you're going to do. If you saw the Tiger King, and that's what I'm here to discuss today. What a weird ass documentary. But first of all, let me just say this. I hope everybody out there is being safe. I'm in California and they just put a thing up about everybody should wear a mask. So I got masks coming. I mean, I don't think everybody has a mask and gloves and all the things you're supposed to need. But, just try to do your part. Social distancing. We got to keep it going so, we can stay alive. So we can keep it, so we can manage the virus so more people we could get back to normal life. That's what it is. Because if we can manage it, then we can easily get back to normal life. Well, not easily, but we'll be able to get back to normal life because we'll know where it is. Everybody's going to get tested. There's so many, they're coming out with new tests. So just be patient, hang in there. I know it's hard, but please hang in there. You know what I mean? Anyways, so damn, let's get into this, right? Let's talk about this weird ass, documentary that I just saw. You know what I mean? Like Tiger King. Okay. Actually, before I even go into the Tiger King, let me go into this Skype call first. This Skype call is funny. This is Mr. Jeremiah Watkins, and then we're gonna delve into it. But here we go. Watkins. Oh, it's
damn!
I
fucked that up, guys. Sorry.
Hey,
just keep
Joe
watching.
Exotic, man. How the hell you doing, man?
Joe Exotic.
Yeah, Joe Exotic.
Are you an
Have
exotic?
You seen my Netflix series, Tiger King? Have you
Oh,
seen it?
that guy. No, I
that's me. I don't know what you're saying. That guy. I'm right here in front of you.
So tell the people what you've been doing, Joe Exotic.
What have I been doing? Well, I actually broke out of prison back at Joe Exotic Studios. So this is one of my first streaming videos. I got the producing team over there that's helping me out. And Erik Griffin actually reached out to me. And I said, what the hell? I mean, why not? Let's start going back on the internet. I love being out here in the public's eye.
So I hit you up.
You hit me up. You're
Okay.
a big fan of You're a big fan of my Netflix series, Tiger King, and your people reached out to my people, which is just you hitting me directly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the success of your series, Mr. Exotic?
Oh, I mean, it's nice to know that I have so many fans around the world. You know what I mean? It's really nice to know that people are finally digging my country songs and digging my art. My merch sales have gone up tremendously, and also as well as my album sales. So feeling pretty good about myself.
So during this quarantine, you're still thriving?
Well, technically, people think I'm in prison right now because that's where the documentary left its shelf. But I actually broke out of prison and I'm living a king's life right now. I mean, look, I have another animal right next to me. This is a giraffe that I've gotten right here. I'm starting to get animals all over again, and it's a good deal.
Oh man. So no more animal cruelty for you though?
No. This giraffe is here on his own volition.
Mm-hmm. He looks really happy to be there.
Yeah, he's stuffed with joy.
He's stuffed with joy. So, is Jeremiah around? Just curious. Is he there with you? Or you guys are good friends, right?
I mean, he's one of the producers over here at Joe Exotic Studios now. He's been helping me out. Do you want to talk with him?
I want to hear more about what else does Jeremiah do for the studio? What does him producing the show look like?
I mean, he put up these nice blinds behind me.
So he's responsible for the blinds. Okay.
And he also he wrangled this giraffe in the wild for me as well. So,
Jeremiah's quite the go-getter.
Yeah, he's a go-getter. He is an entrepreneur if I've ever seen one before.
Yeah. All right. Well, is he around?
Yeah, I mean, I can go get him. I mean, you got to start a show right here from Tiger King, Joe Exotic. But I mean, I guess I could go get that guy.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of friends. So I just kind of, I called him. Right, I didn't know that you had hijacked his blinds and his area.
Yeah, he gave me his cell phone. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? While we're waiting for, he gave you his. Oh my God. All right.
Hey, Eric, can I ask you a question?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. And when you're watching porn,
mm-hmm.
do you like it when the guy with the little thing does her, or do you like it when the guy with the big thing does her?
I'm not actually looking at the thing, so I try not to even notice it. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure. Like, I see it, but I'm not like, oh, that one's girthy. That looks better. You know what I mean? Because then you start to think about things like, well, damn, that's a lot. How's she taking that? Then you start, you're just like, you get lost into everything about it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's veiny.
So you admit that you get lost in the cock sometimes. See? You ain't that straight there, man. I can turn you gay. I'm as gay as a $3 bill, boy.
I didn't know $3 bills were gay.
$3 bills are as queer as daylight.
They're queer as daylight?
Yeah, it's daylight. And it looks like I got a daywalker right in front of me. Oh
my God, dude. Sometimes, man, I swear to God, you so you've had boyfriends, or what's your story?
I was married to 2 men at the same time.
2 men at the same time? Were they all poachers too?
Yeah, 2 men at the same time, or one Erik Griffin. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so funny. Oh, that is just, oh, wow.
That's right, isn't it? That's some good stuff right there.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of these references and stuff would help if you would have seen my Netflix show. You have not seen my Netflix show.
Right, I haven't watched it yet. I want to.
Some of this is going to go over your head a little bit. And
I got to say, though, from the poster and looking at you now, you've lost a lot of weight. And it seems to have all gone to your nose. What happened there?
Prison food sometimes is strange, and sometimes shift your metabolism and stuff like that. And I got my nose hit in a race riot in prison, and it's a little bit bigger than usual.
They allow you to have that kind of facial hair in prison?
Oh yeah. Shit, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you Joe Exotic.
I know you've had a blast talking to me.
This has been so fun.
You've had the energy of getting your taxes done this entire video conversation. So let me go get our. Let's see that Jeremiah character somewhere around here. Okay.
You go get him. All right, everybody. Okay, well, that was that. That was Jeremiah Watkins, my good buddy Jeremiah Watkins. Okay, so I want to go in. Let's talk about this fucking series. So I saw the series. I actually watched all of it last night. I binge watched it. I couldn't help. I thought I was going to watch a couple episodes, but I watched the whole thing. So let's just go into it. I'm going to tell you my thoughts about the freaking Tiger King. First of all, the judgments I'm going to make, the things I'm going to say about the people on the show, the documentary, are based off the perception that the documentarian put out. So I don't know if these things are true about these people, but what the documentary presented, I have feelings about all these people. So first of all, there isn't a redeeming character in the whole fucking thing. Like everybody in this show is just a fucking monster. You know what I mean? Just a monster. And so, and if you don't know what the thing's about at this point, I don't know what to tell you, but it's just about these like exotic animal lovers, and then the seedy business that goes with it, right? So first I want to say, like, all the characters, it's funny how they think that they're different, but they're pretty much all the same. Even Carole. Like, if I wanted to start with her, you know what I mean? And I even let me go. We can even go to the web here to take a look at what this looks like. This chick here, Carole. Like, what do I have to say about Carole? You know what I mean? Like, she thinks that I found her to be just as terrible as all the people there. She actually was the same as them. Like, what I find about all these the main players, right? Wait, let me look and see, like, all the main players, like the main guys, like the doc guy that Theo had on this podcast, the Antle guy, Joe Exotic, what's the other guy? Eric, no, not Eric Coe. He was that Jeff Lowe guy. So Jeff Lowe, Carole, Joe Exotic, and all of those guys that were like running the zoos, the animal people, they all were the same. So like they all felt like cult leaders. You know what I mean? They all felt like they freaking, like they had followers, like they were some sort of religious feel to it. Like the one guy, the doc guy, this motherfucker was no better than like one of those like Mormon combines that they have, and he's got like 5, 6, 7, 8 wives. I mean, the one girl that was on there, she was admitting like, oh well, I was young, I was impressionable, and she was saying that she did all kinds of stuff, breast augmentation and all this kind of stuff. So this guy's having sex with all these young girls, and he's using the tigers to lure them in, and he just was like this charismatic guy, and he was just like a cult leader, the Doc Antle guy. So so he had that. And then I realized after you watching it every episode, you go, they're actually all the same. Like Joe had a harem of these guys around him, and not just the gay element. Like, forget the fact that he made, supposedly these two guys are really straight, but they needed drugs and money. But he still had something charismatic about him that it was okay to them. And he still ended up with another guy. But not just that, he had like these downtrodden people, these people that needed hope. So he would go to the bus stop, and like people would be coming into town, and he'd be like, all right, I'm going to give you a place to stay and a job and $100-something a week, and you're going to work 48 hours a day for me. And they started to follow him. And you watch the series, and I mean, you have to like Joe Exotic. How do you hate the guy? You know what I mean? Like, you almost believed like that yes, he cared about the animals at first, right? He cared about them, and then it just turned into something else because the money and he's a narcissist. Like, you know, he loved the fame, he loved the attention, and I do believe he loved the animals, but he had a way that you just wanted to follow him, you know. And so, but he turns out, I mean, he wasn't the best guy. I mean, they didn't really tap into enough like the drugs. I wish they would have talked more about that. You just realize it later because his like one of his boyfriends, what was the kid's name? John Finlay, whatever his name is. I mean, he had the crack teeth. Like that shit was like, I was like, he's buying them trucks and guns and all this stuff. Like, fix this motherfucker's teeth. Like, this shit was like one snaggle over here, black. So I know that's like meth teeth, they call it. So you knew like he was, you know, that's how he got but I think that Joe himself was doing drugs. He obviously was on drugs too. You know, he was not handling himself well, but he just a fascinating character, you know, and he just was like a glimpse into this weird world. But all these people seem to be cult leaders, you know, so and then the John Lowe guy, that motherfucker's just a criminal. He just was like a con man, criminal, stole the park from Joe, but even he had a bunch of followers. He's like using these tigers and animals. He got this one young girl that like she's letting him do whatever the fuck he wants. He's looking for nannies. He's looking for hot nannies, and she's having threesomes with him, and they're in Vegas. But then he's lying about a Ferrari, lying about his mansion. You know, he's just conning people left and right. I don't know why that motherfucker has not been arrested. I don't know why he's not in jail. Okay. So like, all right. So anyway, let's stay on Joe Exotic. So Joe, you know, weird upbringing, weird childhood, the fact that he was a gay redneck and just all the things about him that just was just so captivating and amazing to watch, you know, just the train wreck of it. And that's why, by the way, that guy, Rick Kirkham, the guy that was filming the reality show, that guy was a piece of shit too, in my opinion, because he knew exactly what was happening. He made the guy sign something. Probably a lawyer didn't look at it. And so they have like all of this, you know, he's got all this footage and he's filming everything. Joe doesn't even have the sense to be like, yo, maybe don't film me saying some illegal shit over here. Or like, I wonder what footage they really had. There had to have been drug use. There had to have been all kinds of like nefarious shit going on that this guy, Rick, and then he like tried to, it's like, so I'm jumping ahead in this thing. Like, you know, when the studio got burned down, Joe for sure burned that shit down. He for sure burned it down. Like, based off watching the documentary and the facts that were given in the documentary. Like, we don't know if all that shit was true. We don't know if what they presented was, if it was just a narrative that the documentarian was trying to put forth. But if it's true, the facts that he showed there, of course Joe burned the shit down. You know, he was getting investigated. And at that point, we didn't know watching the documentary that he, you know, was involved with having the other woman killed, or you know, but we don't even know if that was even true. He's saying it wasn't true, but it's hard to know what's true or not true based off these facts. So he burned that place down because, you know, the feds were asking him, the cops were asking him questions, the people are suing him. So he was like, all this information, he probably had something on that tape that was like damning, and they were going to confiscate the whole shit and watch it and see all kinds of shit that he didn't want them to see. So he was like, fuck this, burn that shit down, burn all the hard drives. So Joe was just a weird character. And like I say, I feel like all of those people had the same kind of thing. Even Carole. Like, let's talk about Carole. Like, do I think she killed her husband based off the facts that they showed? Yeah, I think she killed her husband. I think that I think she's a cold-blooded, get what she wants type of lady. Like, those ex-wives and the daughter, or if they were all ex-wives, those women fucking hate her. Like, they were like, she did it. Like that one, the older wife, man, she was so bitter, but I get it. You know, she's like, that young, you thought you was the young pretty thing, you know, he was going to love you forever. So anyways, and then like, okay, so I know I'm scatterbrained right now because I'm doing this live, but look, here's what I think about Carole. I think Carole, if Joe wasn't gay, she would have been attracted to Joe Exotic. I think because he's just like the husband. He's just like the husband that allegedly got rid of. Because did you hear her story? She's 19. He drives by her 2-3 times and then it's like, get in the car and talk to me, and you can hold this gun on me. Like, bitch, you don't get into a motherfucker's car. He's like, hold this gun on me? Like, what? Like, that says something about her whole psyche. And I know she had a horrible experience when she was 14. She allegedly says that she was raped by 3 men by knife point. So you know how that's affected her for the rest of her life, and to the point where now she's getting into a strange man's car that gives her a gun, and then of course she goes with him. That was all sexy to her, she goes with him, and there it is. You know what I mean? So it's like, damn. that she was bizarre. So then she gets with this guy. He's got all this money, and then he's cheating on her, obviously, because they were together 4 years before he left his wife. So, like, listen, if you a side chick, okay, if you a side chick and then you become the main chick, bitch, don't think that you gonna be the main chick forever. You don't got that thing that's gonna make this guy go, oh, this is the one. I've been cheating and screwing around for a long time, but now, no, you ain't special. So he was going to be in Costa Rica with another girlfriend. So what I'm saying is that guy was charismatic. That guy had a bunch of girlfriends and a bunch of money, and she was enamored by that. But she herself, 3-4 husbands, and she was just like Joe. She had this engaging personality, so she's online. You know what I didn't appreciate about her? The hypocrisy, like how they laid the what do you call it? Whatever, the docuseries out, how they laid it out. You didn't know about her past, so they're telling her as this like great animal rights activist, and she's like trying to shut these things down. Turns out this motherfucker was doing that. That's how she made her money. And then they show her current park. I don't see the difference. From a distance, from a helicopter view, if I'm in a helicopter and I'm flying over Joe Exotic's park, I'm flying over Doc Antle's park, I'm flying over that other Tim guy's park, whoever owns these parks, if I'm flying over them and I fly over Carole's place, how the fuck would you know the difference? All I see is big ass cats and animals in cages and people in line to look at them. Like, I don't know how she's able to take this high road with that being the case. It just seemed weird to me. I'm trying to look at the chat too at the same time, guys. I'm sorry, there's so much going on in the chat, and then my brain is going haywire. So that's the thing I didn't appreciate about her. And then so maybe she changed her tune. Maybe I think that she was mad at her ex-husband. Okay, so she's a vindictive, like, go get her. She's gonna get what she wants. That's how she's portrayed. That's how those other women felt about her. So if you believe that to be true, I think it was all vengeance. It was like, all right, I'm gonna have this park, and anybody that has a park that's like my ex-husband, they going down. Not just for the animals. Like the one chick who got her arm cut off. That's how much Joe gets in people's head. That's how much people were loyal to him. This motherfucker got her arm bitten off, and 7 days later, she back at work. I was like, what? So, and she said it best at the end of the documentary, like, no animals were looked after in this. Everybody was looking out for themselves and their own self-interest. Like, what is her taking his house and his mattress and his trucks and his trailer and all the shit, all the money? How the fuck was that helping all those animals in Joe's park? Like, that's what I thought she was trying to do. So I don't know. I think that Joe and all those guys that she's going after are just like the husband that she got rid of, allegedly. You know what I mean? Allegedly she killed her husband, but the way she is, how sending 7,000 emails and like she doesn't stop, and she had a weird demeanor. Like every time she would just laugh, she was like, oh, like, why would I kill my husband? I was like, oh, she came across to me as creepy, but she's already come out and said that she was portrayed not in a good light. And I can see that. I can see how when you make a documentary, you have your own narrative, and this is the narrative of that. So I just say again, I think they're all cult leaders, including her. On her third or fourth husband, with her ex-husband's millions in the bank, I believe the ex-wives who were like, she told me if we say anything that she's gonna make sure we have nothing. I mean, she just seems like a vengeful, vindictive woman who's like, who is disguising that with like, oh, I care about animals, because I didn't get the impression that she cared about animals. I just got the impression that she liked wearing cat shit and hated these guys. And they hated her in return. Like, let's go back to Joe just for a second. This motherfucker's insane. He was like shooting a doll on the internet talking about it was her. So like, even if let's say he would have hired somebody to kill her, he still would have been the suspect. There's enough circumstantial evidence probably to have a case against him. Maybe he doesn't get convicted, but it's like, dude, he don't know how to shut his mouth. All right. So there's that guy. And Carole, I just think that, and then she had her husband, like, I don't know who that Howard guy, I don't get his fascination with, he took on the cause too. Like, they just both seem like angry, like, we're going to get you type people. They didn't care how much money they were going to spend. They would have spent millions to make sure these people went down, and they succeeded, I think, I don't know. So then going back to the Doc Antle guy who, like, he just was on Theo's podcast. I haven't watched it. I wanted to watch it before I did this, but I just been busy today. But like Theo, like, he had him on. But I'm saying that guy is, he's like Jim Jones, or you know what I mean? He's like one of these like charismatic like cult leaders. He just happens to have animals. You know what I mean? So like, but I don't know if I think they all did illegal shit. Like that. The saddest part about it is they all did the same thing. The puppy, the cubs. People come to pet the cubs, and then when they're not manageable and you have to spend $10,000 a day to feed them, or $10,000 a month, or whatever that price was, they said, where they had to feed these animals, they were like, fuck that, just kill them, make some new ones. I mean, it was sad. And it was also sad to see that number, that it was something like 6,000 to 10,000. There's 6,000 to 10,000 tigers in the United States and only 4,000 in the wild. I mean, that's crazy, man. So that guy was a cult leader, and then let's go to this Jeff Lowe guy. So this guy, he scammed Joe. I mean, Joe was obviously on drugs, not in his right mind. He was paranoid. He was already scheming. I think that they both schemed to kill this lady. I think they both, because Carole was trying to get all of them. Whoever has animals, she was like, you're on my radar and I'm coming for your ass. So they all hated him. Even the one reasonable guy, the manager of let me see if I can find his fucking name. What is his name? John Rinke. Like, he seemed to be the most reasonable guy. But even he was like, at the end, he was like, man, fuck all this. He left his wife. He was living in a trailer. Like, I'm done. I'm done with the world. I've suffered enough. I lost my lion. So here I am. So that guy was crazy. He even though he seemed to be like the nicest of all these weird people, even he ended up making some bad decisions. And he knew what was going on. I could tell he has some guilt. You know what I mean? I could tell he has some guilt. All right, let's go to the chat, see what people are saying. Oh, the number. Somebody said the number is fake about the tigers. Well, I don't know. You think okay? Somebody says the government sent Jeff Lowe to stop Joe. No, okay. Two people that I thought were like real pieces of shit in this, and that's one is Jeff Lowe, and the other one is this guy James. Let's get him on the screen. This dude right here. That dude right there. He was a motherfucker too. See, they all had their self-interest. It was all self-interest. So you have that guy, and then you had the Jeff Lowe guy. Where's Jeff Lowe? Let's get him on the screen too. So you had James, and you had Jeff Lowe, right? These two motherfuckers. You know what I mean? So, all right. So Jeff Lowe comes into the picture. I still don't understand his story. I just think that he's a con artist. I think that he's really good at that. I mean, Joe was in a bind. Like, Carole was beating his ass down. He lost all of his like possessions, like the expensive possessions, and she was coming for the park. She was gonna get that park. It was gonna be him or nothing. So this guy preyed on him. You know what I mean? I think he preyed on him. He got away. He got the park. He got these animals. He got Joe, and then I think he himself wanted Carole gone too. The way he was talking, you know, he just sounded like a mafioso guy. You know, like the one mafia guy in the show too. Oh, what was that guy's name? The dude that was like Scarface. Say hello to my little friend. Oh man, what was that dude's name? You guys know who I'm talking about though if you watch the show. I mean, there's so many people. Oh no, it wasn't him. It wasn't John. What the fuck was that guy's name? Anyways, you know, the other mobster guy that, like, you know, he had cats, he had the tigers and lions and shit, and then he was selling drugs for his like exotic animal habit, you know, and he was talking about, like, you know, the things that these people like it freely admitted was like bizarre to me. Like, this guy was basically saying that he was a part of chopping somebody's head off with a chainsaw or some shit. I don't know. It just was like, so that guy was weird. So that guy, I believe that guy more than anybody else, of him just being like, oh yeah, that guy he's guilty. That guy's guilty. So that guy was weird. But this guy, so Jeff Lowe, he comes in, he makes Joe think he's going to help him. He does help him. He helps him in a way that he's like, he fronts some money. I bet you it wasn't even really his money. It's probably somebody else's money. And he basically took the park over. And then Joe don't trust anybody. He's not a reputable dude. You know, he's not an honorable guy. Joe, he fucking, you know, was doing all this shady shit on the side. You know, I think that they all were involved with talking about, because look, they got Joe on tape making the plans to kill Carole. They got him on tape. So no matter what he says, they got his ass on tape. All right. But he's having a conversation with the other guy. Like, I think that this Jeff Lowe guy, he got immunity. I don't know why the government hated Joe Exotic more than they hated all these fucking nefarious characters. You know what I mean? It don't make any sense to me. Okay, let me look in here and see. Jeff got caught. Yeah, so like, yes, this guy, Jeff Lowe, he's in Vegas doing crimes. He's all over the country doing crimes. Got a fake Ferrari, a fake house that's not his. So I think that I don't think the government wasn't using him. I think he was using the government. I think that he was like, look, I got this guy. This is like a serious crime. He wants to kill this woman. I'll get him for you, and you give me immunity on that and some other things. And they probably said, okay, well, the lesser of two evils. They're both terrible. I think the animal people were the ones that made the deal. Like, okay, cool, because Joe had more animals. You know, Joe had access to more animals. This big zoo, there was like 70 animals there. So he's like, you know. But I think that guy's going down. I do think he's going down. Okay, so anyways, so he brings on, they all had criminals around them. What's the one guy's name? What's that one guy's name? Oh, Sam, right? They had the Sam guy. That motherfucker, why is he not in jail? He was straight up like, I'll cut the bitch's head off. Like, he's trying to say that he took Joe's money just to fuck with him and like just played along. But there is part of me that thinks that Jeff set this whole shit up. That Jeff initiated. There's probably phone calls with Joe that we never heard, or there's interaction. Like, that's what that's what Fat Chucky was saying. James, that guy was saying that he knows that Jeff is a part of it. That he was there when they discussed it. And I think that Jeff pushed Joe along. Joe's easily manipulated. He pushed him. And then at the point where Joe, let's say the conversation they had before that is Joe going like, okay, yeah, we should kill her. You're right. Okay, so how do we do it? And then the motherfucker starts recording. You know what I mean? So we don't know. I think it's entrapment. You know, I think that, yeah, anyways, I don't know. You guys get what I'm saying. It just, I don't think that Jeff Lowe should be scot-free. I think that he has more involvement in that whole plot, because he even is saying, remember the part he's at the tree and he's all like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I wanted her dead too. The world would be better off if she was dead. Even the nice dude I was talking about, even the manager, the nice guy, he was saying like, look, I've even said it, she should die. That's how vicious, that's how she was on top of all those guys where they hated her so much they wanted her dead. Whoo! You know what I mean? So I'm going back to chat to see what you guys are saying. It's on tape. Jeff telling the guy he needed to tell the feds this and that. I know. I mean, dude, I totally agree. Like they didn't show everything. There's more to this. There's more to it, you know? And I wouldn't be surprised if the TV producer guy who got all his stuff burned up, if someplace on those tapes there was the conversations about something like that. You never know, you know? But this guy, Sam, I don't get how he's not in jail. Like, he accepted the money. He can't come later and be like, oh, I was just kidding, or I was trying to mess with him. I don't get why that guy is that's just freaky. That's some freaky shit. You know what I mean? Oh God. I don't know, guys. I see somebody's bringing up a point. Shouldn't the filmmaker be in trouble for not stopping it? I mean, at what point? You know, I know in Florida, I think in Florida there's a law that if you witness a crime and you don't do anything, you can get arrested. I'm not sure if that's how the law is. What do you call it? I'm not sure that's how you say it, or that's how it's written, but it's something like that. Like, because remember there was this like college beach party or something like that going on, and a girl is being raped, and some people filmed it, you know, and you know, it's like, what are you doing? Like, you filming it? Like, what? I mean, I get if you're somebody that's like, okay, I'll film it. Okay, so we get the evidence, but you 7, 8, 9, 20 people standing around, why don't you guys stop it? Like, let's work together. So I don't know. I don't know how culpable the filmmaker actually is, because again, you know, it's a narrative. He's taking pieces of the story and putting it together, and we're presented the story in a way that we're like, it looks like really bad for all of them. They all look really bad. I don't know if Jeff Lowe is really this horrible person, but he's presented that way. I don't know. And like the weasel guy, like the guy James, Fat Chucky, he freaking looked, he came across terrible in my opinion. Like, he just was a slimy, trying to get out of it kind of guy. I mean, they had, like, I didn't know that the gaming commission, not the gaming commission, but the animal and fish people, they had the same jurisdiction like the FBI. So they had him on, like, having that little ferret thing. So they had him on, so, you know, they were going to turn his ass. So he's, like, coming in trying to, like, hey, I got these, I think I can get these people saying some really bad stuff so I can get off. I mean, they all were terrible. You know, they're all terrible. And I got to give it to Joe. Like, I felt for the dude, man. I don't think, should he be in jail? I don't know. What do you guys think? Should he be in jail? You know, should he be, like, was he terrible to the animals? Yeah, I think he was terrible. He should do some time for just the cruelty to animals. I think he even felt it when I was touched when he was talking about the chimpanzees, how he said, like, for 10 years he kept them in those cages, and, you know, he needed, when he finally gave them up to that whatever sanctuary it was, and they were outside and they were hugging each other when they first got out the cages, and I was just like, well, damn, dude, you know. And you heard it in that clip, and then you heard him on the phone from jail where he was like, oh man, like, you could tell he was like, fuck, I'm being treated like I treated the animals, you know. It's like, damn, Joe, sorry, bro, but you know, you were out of control. He was out of control, man. That guy was just out of control. This motherfucker ran for governor, ran for president. And then how about that one libertarian guy? What the fuck was his name? This guy to me, he was a piece of shit too. Like, how you gonna have this Joshua? I didn't like Joshua. You know, I think that he was taking advantage of the situation too. How you gonna, like, back this guy I guess that's because he was so anti-government. He was like, you know, the best way to be anti-government is to have an idiot run for office, because you never know. Sometimes they might win. So I didn't believe him. I didn't trust him, and it just got dark. You know what I mean? The whole thing was dark, like when the poor drugged up kid killed himself. I was like, damn, that was the moment that it all became real. I don't know about you guys, but I'm watching the documentary and I'm just fascinated by all these terrible characters, all these terrible people, all this, like, the people, like, even like the dude, oh man, the one guy, long haired, he was the manager of the zoo, or he was like the Erik guy, Erik Cowie, I think that was his name. Let me see if this is the guy. Yeah, he was the head keeper of the zoo. Man, let me show him for you guys. This guy right here. Oh man. Like when they showed him, remember when they showed him, he was in his like room or something, and it's just like alcohol bottles everywhere. And I was like, come on, documentarian guy, the filmmaker. They just made that guy look, he was fucking drunk. And you just go, look how all of this has affected all these people's lives. None of these people are emotionally equipped to deal with the things that they're dealing with. Like, I actually don't know how this motherfucker ran a zoo for 20 years. Him, Joe, all these people. Like, how? I mean, that's why they were killing the cats and burying them in the fucking, he couldn't afford it. And that Walmart meat. Oh, that's another thing too. Did you guys know that? Did you know that that is that even true? Does anybody know if that's true, that let's say you go grab some meat and then you go up to the front and you don't want it, you can't pay for it, that they can't put it back? I didn't know that. I mean, that was so much wasted meat. Did you see that? So it was like, I'm glad that kind of stuff's going someplace if you have all these cats, but that shit was crazy. That shit was crazy. But everybody just seemed terrible. So anyways, let me get back to what I was saying. So the kid, Tim, what was his name? Was his name Tim? Wait, let me see if I could get his name. When he was just he came on 19. Yeah. No, it wasn't Tim. What was the boy's name that killed himself? Oh man, I wish I was more prepared. I had this thing open. I thought this was going to be everybody's names, but it wasn't. I don't know. But that poor kid, you saw that first video of him. He was just fresh and young, skater kid, all pretty in the face. You know what I mean? Just his little stash. And he was all like, it's like, then he just like turned into like a fucking meth head, crack whore, shooting, pointing guns at people. And it's just, that was the moment though. Like I was saying, it's like, that was very sobering watching the documentary, because at that point, like I said, you're having fun laughing at how crazy these people are. I mean, Joe and his music too, man. That shit was just hilarious. Like all his music videos and his web show, how weird it got. And even Carole and her fucking weirdo ass, like all those cat stuff and just her demeanor. Everybody was weird. But when that kid killed himself, it became real. Because then you're getting his story. You see his poor mom, and you could tell that she felt like a failure. She felt like, oh man, she's like, I failed my kid. I don't know what is he? I don't know what he was doing with this guy. And then Joe was fucked up, like inviting her to his wedding to this new crazy kid, who, like, by the way, from the looks on his face and how he was talking, it looks like he legitimately loves Joe. So that's some weird shit too. That's how charismatic that motherfucker is, Joe. So that was sobering when that guy died. And that's like the downfall of it. That's when, like, I think as a storyteller, the filmmaker made it like, okay, now I'm going to reveal all the underbelly, all the evil that's really going on. So that really made, like, I went from laughing at the documentary to really just kind of being like, damn, this is some sobering fucked up shit. You know what I mean? All right, let me go to Instagram right now, because I'm sure I have some Instagram questions. Wait, how do I go to the Instagram? Oh, here we go. Here it is. All right. So, wildest thing I've ever seen. Can't believe this is the same world we live in. I mean, I totally agree. That's another thing too, is like, you watch that documentary and you go, is this real? Like, that's why I'm saying I think that the filmmaker took liberties. Somebody said, fucking great. I was rooting for Joe the whole time. You know, I found myself rooting for him too. And even hearing his phone calls from jail, I kind of was like, oh, I hope this guy gets out. But then at the same time, just like, damn, he is responsible. He is partly responsible for the death of that dude. He's responsible for the mistreatment of all the animals. You know, he's done some wrong. Should he be in jail for 20 years? I don't know. I'm not a judge. I don't know what's fair in terms of that, but he should do some time. Somebody, Carole did it. I mean, if I'm being honest with you, just hearing everybody and just feeling her strangeness and her willingness to like not stop, not let up at all. Does she seem like somebody that could kill a motherfucker? Yeah. if I'm being 100. Okay, let me see. Lots of drug-induced homosexuality. Oh, not to mention, fuck Carole Baskins. Well, that's how people feeling, you know? Drug-induced homosexuality. Is that a thing? Well, I guess if you're so desperate for, like, the kid was a prisoner. They're saying he, according to the libertarian guy, the dude couldn't leave the compound. He couldn't have friends. He couldn't have his own money. He had to like, so he just got drugs and weed and, you know, from Joe. Oh man, dude. The hype is worn off. Don't talk about it. Well, too late, brother. Joe Exotic is a hard worker. Yeah. You know, you got to admire. You know what, though? All these kind of guys. Okay, think of all the, like, serial killers and all the, like, cult leaders. How organized and how hardworking and, like, they are. But they do it for, you know, like Obama or somebody like that could have easily gone down the wrong path, you know? Thankfully, someone like Obama went on the good path. But he easily could have been like a cult leader or something. Like those type of people could use their powers for something other than what they end up doing it for. Sex, money, and drugs. You know what I mean? Yeah, a lot of people say they're rooting for him. The Walking Chucky Doll guy said he's in trouble for owning a Lumar. That's definitely not it. Yeah, I totally agree. I think there's more going on with that guy too. Yeah, Fat Chucky has more going on in his life. But that's still a big... We see, that's what I'm saying. We don't know all these guys. Another thing too is they love being in front of the camera, all of them, and they didn't know how to shut their mouth. It's like the FBI should just look at this documentary or just look at all the footage and just be like, this motherfucker admitted that he did this. This guy insinuated that he did this. This guy, like they have enough circumstantial evidence just of what they showed us to be like, I think we need to reinvestigate Jeff Lowe and Chucky and Sam, who was a criminal. Motherfucker he was a criminal. He got out of jail. He was I felt like if Joe or whatever the circumstances, even though I think it was a setup, part of me does feel like Jeff set him up. You know what I mean? Like goaded him into it. You know what I mean? You know, it's like if you whisper in somebody's ear, your mama's a bitch. And then that guy punches you in the face and all of a sudden you're like this, oh my God, this dude's so violent. Look what this guy did. I think it was a setup. Like in The Firm. Remember The Firm with Tom Cruise? He still did wrong. He shouldn't have slept with that chick on the beach, but it was a setup. You know what I mean? So, like, Joe shouldn't have got money together to kill Carole. You know, he shouldn't have done that, but it was a setup, you know, and I think that Sam was a part of it. So, like, I don't know. I think Sam would kill someone, but I don't think that he was going to kill Carole. I think that the whole point of it was take this motherfucker's money and get him thrown in jail, right? That's what I think of that. Kind of fizzles out. Somebody thinks it fizzles out. I thought it was hilarious, didn't you? I thought it was fun. Like I said, I thought that it was so fun. Like, not just funny too, like jaw-dropping. Like everything that Joe did, you would go, what? Or even Lowe or any of these people, you hear the things that coming out of their mouth and you go, you're doing what? And then you hear a music, you hear some of his music, you just start laughing. So I stopped laughing at it the moment the guy killed himself. That was when I was done. That Meat Lover's Pizza was a motherfucker, wasn't it? He made with the Walmart meat. Joe was a businessman. He was like, I'm not fucking around, y'all. You gonna get this Walmart meat. Somebody said, I think Carole's husband keeps his socks on while having sex with her. Yeah, so he can get his shoes and run out of there before that bitch kills him. Whoo. Anyways, so that's from Instagram. That was the Instagram crowd. Appreciate you guys. And I appreciate all you guys watching live at home. You know what I mean? You know, we got a solid, looks like we almost got a solid hour in. I think the time's off because my thing says it's been streaming for 54 minutes. Wait, let me go to the stream and see what's going on. Where we at? Oh, yeah, 51. So we still got time. I wanted to do an hour, take some questions. So, you know, anything else? Somebody said 5,000 is ridiculously low for a hitman. You know what's funny? That's what the doc guy said too. I think he said the same thing. I think he was something like, that's $100,000 job. But, you know, but to me, I don't know how much a hitman costs. I hope I never know how much a hitman costs. But if you're so sure about how much a hitman costs, what kind of world are you living in? Like, who are you to know that kind of information? Greetings from Germany. Hello, Germany. How you guys doing? Tiger King is lame. You know, I think it's kind of lame-ish. I'm not, you know what? Let's talk about my mustache. You know, should I get a Joe Exotic? Guys, I don't know if I'm gonna grow the mustache back, but I do like having some fuzz. You know what I mean? I don't know if I want to be clean again like that, like when I first did it, but I kind of like my face. I'm kind of getting used to it. And then when I look at pictures of myself with the mustache, I'm kind of like, who the fuck is that? You know what I mean? So it's I'm not sure. My mom is okay. My mom's here in California with my stepfather. They're you know at a place and they're doing okay. It's just it's just hard right now to like keep them stay inside. You know, people don't really. I don't think it's touched it's affected us. This coronavirus has affected us, but it hasn't touched us. It hasn't touched all of us yet. You know, grow a full beard. I was thinking about it, but then it's too scratchy and I don't like it. Stop touching. I wash my hands. You know, I'm gonna wash my face and hands right after this podcast, y'all. All right. You know, I'm trying to do the podcast with Steve. I'm trying to, but Steve's in his own world, man. He's doing his podcast and he's like, hunkered in. He's, so I don't know. We'll see after all this clears up. We'll see what happens. I didn't realize my upper lip was so small. You think this shit is like, I need some injections in my lip. When I first did it, I was like, where the fuck is my top lip? It's like this was made for a mustache. It's crazy. I know. See, it's like I'm getting mixed reviews. Like people say, so how about in the chat? Let me know. Like just put keep. No, what should we say? Yes or no? So yes. No, wait. What? Now I'm confusing myself. Just say mustache or no mustache. And I'm busy playing what do you call it? Warzone. I'm still playing Call of Duty. I'm still trying to get a Black Ops win. So if you ever want to watch me game, go to Erik Griffin Gaming. Erik Griffin Gaming on YouTube. That's my other channel, Erik Griffin Gaming. So make sure you check that out. My thanks to Jeremiah Watkins, who I hadn't watched the documentary yet when he came on to do that, and I didn't even know he was going to do that. It was he just surprised me with that because that's what he does. He's so committed to his characters. So that's why the interview seemed weird because I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. But so people say no stash, goatee. Keep it sandy. I like the sandy. No stash. Keep the fuzz. No stash. No stash. No stash. No stash. No stash. It's all no stash. Okay, mustache. There's one mustache vote. Another mustache vote. Another mustache vote. Handlebar mustache. Go fuck yourself. I know we're trying to get the podcast going. 2020 no stash. I don't know. I know. Do I look like a skinny red band? I do like how my face is a little bit more slender. I've been keeping shit. I'm not eating a lot. You know what I mean? I'm eating healthy. I'm trying to lose this weight, y'all. So when we come out of this shit, I'm gonna be a whole new man, ready for sitcoms and fucking cop shows and shit. Want to see me on a cop show? Get out! I want to be on I don't know. My dream job is to be the lab tech on CSI, one of those type shows. I want to be like the, so like the main guys, they come in, they go, Roscoe. My name will be Roscoe. I got music blasting and shit. I'm looking at the tech and I'm like, oh, my bad, sir. Boom. According to the red blood cells, boo, boo, boo. I do like, I got like 2 good scenes in every episode and I'm just on the road doing stand up. You know what I mean? That would be the best. And then it's like, and the show goes like 15 years. You know what I'm saying? Those people make so much money. Erik, love your vibes. Do it you want mustache or clean? Well, my girl, she don't like the mustache. She just like, I'm gonna talk. I think Bobby. I just talked to Bobby today, so I'm probably gonna have Bobby on. So we'll see. Yeah, I'll have him. But I'm getting a lot of people. I got my buddy Brett Ernst. He's gonna come on. I got an Andrew Santino. I talked to him, even though that episode is still a little it's wonky with the sound and all that. But I'm about to record myself talking about that when I get off with you guys. And yeah, that's pretty much that. Oh, check you on Twitch chat. I know. I would love to be in a buddy cop movie with Bobby Lee. You know what I mean? But it's like it looks too Rush Hour-y, but it's not, But that would be the joke. Like we should do like a spoof of Rush Hour. That's the whole point of it. Like we're garbage men and we find like some evidence we find a bag of money that we realize it's not ours. It belongs to the mob and some shit. And we have to like, you know what I mean? Look, I just wrote the movie right there. You guys know where that goes. Okay. There's a whole, Mike says I need the mustache. All right. I'm not getting a mullet. Exactly. You know what? I did actually decide to shave the mustache myself, guys. I did. Because I was like, I'm bored. I'm going to be in the house. Who cares? I'm not, the shit grows back fast as fuck. You'd be surprised. I also wanted to see actually how gray I was, actually. And I have a weird black streak. Like my hair grows, it's still black in a weird area. Like I have like it would be like here and it would come like this. And everything around it would be gray. It's really weird looking. So I don't know. I might grow the beard just to see what that looks like. I always stream Warzone. If you go to Erik Griffin Gaming on YouTube, that's my other channel where I game. So, guys, check that out. You know what I mean? But anyways, I really appreciate you guys watching. I really appreciate you. Like I said, I love that you guys are watching. I'm gonna do a live one every Friday during quarantine. I'm trying to put out as much content as I can because I'm still trying to be creative and I'm still trying to stay connected. All the people that send me messages and say like, yo, man, I really love your podcast. You're helping me through these times. I really appreciate those messages because you're helping me too when you send me that message. And I know I'm reaching people. And that's what it's all about. So like, even when you get off this podcast right now, share it for me, share it, like it, subscribe, send it out to people, man. That's how you help me out. And watch the ads. If you really want to help me out, I'm trying to do my part. Do your part. Just, play my podcast in the background. Just open up a web browser and just go to my Riffin with Griffin playlist, on my page and just let it play with the ads going because that'll help me out. You don't have to do that. I'm being half playful. You know what I mean? But I appreciate all you guys. You know what I mean? And as you know, once again, it's your favorite podcast live. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Riffin with Riffin. Whoa, 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 whoa. Riffin with Riffin. All right, y'all. See you next Friday. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Riffin with Riffin. Whoa, 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 whoa. This is Riffin with Riffin. Peace.